Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be ranking the main types of sim racing upgrades based on their ability to increase your performance. And by that I mean either that will make you a bit faster or that will make you more consistent, such as avoiding spins and just overall being in better control of your vehicle and improving your pace over an entire race. Now the goal of this video is to help you with your upgrade path, as well as just give you information as to what the main benefits are of the main types of upgrades that you will come across in sim racing. Before we get to the tier list, I would like to say a couple of things which I think are important for you to know before we talk about upgrades. First of all, when it comes to increasing your performance, nothing can replace knowledge and practice. It's quite simple. If you want to get significantly better at sim racing and you want to increase your performance, you have to put in the hours in practice, you have to get used to cars, you have to get used to tracks, and you need to learn the theory behind car control, racing, and whatnot. I mean, you don't need to, you could just be talented and it could come easy to you. That wasn't the case for me. I started from zero, and using YouTube and VRS, I learned a ton of things for free, which helped me increase my pace much more than any sort of flashy, expensive upgrade. Which brings me to my second point, which is, if you're new, please know that you do not need fancy, expensive equipment to have fun or to be competitive. You can be extremely competitive with an entry-level setup hooked up to your desk. Finally, I also need to mention that the information that I will be sharing in this video and the final outcome of the tier list is based entirely on my opinion and on my experience using these different types of sim racing upgrades. So take it with a grain of salt. Your experience could be completely different from mine. And actually, if your opinion on everything that we're about to discuss is different, please let me know in the comments. I would really like to encourage all of you to share your experience in the comments so that we can help new sim racers and people that are thinking of getting into sim racing with their purchasing choices. Okay guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the fun part of this video, the tier list. The first upgrade that we're most likely gonna be looking into is a wheel with force feedback. And I actually had the T300 RS. It has 4 Newton meters of force, and the force feedback is actually pretty high quality and it's great value for money. If we didn't have force feedback before, with something like the T300 RS or similar belt-driven wheelbase, we would definitely be able to start feeling feedback from the car and start feeling losses in tire grip, which would allow us to control the car a lot better. And that definitely improved my performance, especially over longer races. For this reason, I would say that going from no force feedback to a belt-driven system is going to increase your performance, and I would honestly put it at a B. It is going to help you control the car better. Now, obviously there is another type of force feedback wheelbases, and that's the direct drive wheelbases. I did, after about a year, upgrade to a Simagic Alpha Mini. The Simagic Alpha Mini has 10 Newton meters of force, so twice as much as the T300 RS. And the force feedback feels more powerful and slightly more detailed, but perhaps not in a hugely significant way. Now, obviously, thanks to having more power, I did feel losses of grips even more in advance than I sometimes would have with the T300 RS. For this reason, I did find the upgrade worthwhile in terms of performance, but another way in which direct drive has improved my performance is by giving me more confidence. Because I know that if I push the car, I will most likely feel any losses in grip or driving on the edge better than with no force feedback or with a lot less force feedback. And for this reason, in terms of added performance value, I would place a direct drive wheelbase, and in my case, with 10 Nm of power, at around a high B and low A. It's not going to be, let's say, insanely different from a good belt-driven system, but it will give you more confidence for sure, or at least it did with me. Now, if you go for a direct drive wheelbase, chances are you need to get yourself a steering wheel. So I went for the Simagic GTC steering wheel, which is a fancy, expensive steering wheel. Did this increase my performance? Honestly, no. I do have to say that the diameter of my wheel is bigger by a few centimeters than the diameter of the wheel on the T300 RS, and I think this allows me to be a bit more precise with my inputs, but honestly, it's not, in my opinion, anything that improved my performance significantly, so I would rate it as a D in terms of added performance value. If you get a nice wheel, and especially in my case, since there's Alcantara leather on the rim, you're probably gonna buy gloves to try and keep that leather as clean as possible and keep sweat and oils from your hands away from it. Now, despite the fact that gloves might give you better grip, I cannot say that I have noticed an improvement in performance by wearing gloves, other than I just feel more comfortable because my hands aren't sweaty and I'm not ruining the leather on my wheel. So I would place that as a D as well, as you might have expected. We talked about feedback and getting force feedback into your steering wheel and being able to feel more of your tires and controlling your car better and avoiding spins. One upgrade that does that beautifully and which I now cannot drive without is a BassShaker or ButtKicker system. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I actually made a video on this showing my DIY ButtKicker setup, and it's an absolutely wonderful thing. Long story short, it allows you to feel the telemetry and the physics of the game onto your rig by using BassShakers, which are basically audio devices which produce vibrations. So for example, if I drive over a rumble strip, they will vibrate and I will feel that. There's many effects that you can use with BassShakers or with a ButtKicker, and one of them, crucially, is wheel slip. I can literally feel vibrations throughout my entire rig when my tires are losing grip. This, first of all, gives me a lot of confidence because I can tell exactly when the car is about to slip, and so I know I'm gonna be able to control the car better. The added feedback and the added confidence definitely helps me keep the car away from spins and just running consistently, which increases my performance over the course of an entire race. Without it, I know for sure that there would have been spins that I would have not been able to save. For this reason, I place a BassShaker or ButtKicker system in, once again, a high B, low A tier. This, combined with a force feedback steering wheel, really gives you full feedback as to what is happening with your car and will really improve not only control and performance, but also immersion. So I highly recommend it. Now, if you want to add all these kinds of things, which we've just discussed, to your sim racing arsenal, You might be able to do it on a desk and on an office chair, but chances are you're looking into a dedicated cockpit. My first cockpit, so we're gonna talk about entry level first, was the Foldable Playseat Challenge, which is just a sim racing workhorse. It's amazing. It fits into most rooms, and it gives you a comfortable and dedicated space to sim race. I can definitely say that going from racing at my desk to racing on a Playseat Challenge improved my performance marginally, mainly because I could get in a much better position, and as you will see in guides out there, your positioning and the position of your body, the angling of your pedals and of your seat can improve performance. In my case, I felt that the performance improvement was perhaps not as much as getting a direct drive wheelbase or haptics, but still definitely more than D tier. So I would place this perhaps as a, let's put it in C, but yeah, for some people it might even be more than that. Now, inevitably, we should also talk about the higher end of dedicated sim racing cockpits, and that is getting an aluminum rig. I can say that honestly, the added performance value of getting my aluminum rig, and I have a GT1 Evo, over the Playseat Challenge is very marginal in my experience, if not almost unnoticeable. I do have to say that this rig has a lot more customization, and I can move my pedals and make everything exactly to the shape of my body and make it extremely comfortable. But I was already quite comfortable in my Playseat Challenge as well, so for me, honestly, in terms of added performance value, we're on the same level as what the Playseat Challenge gave me when I went from my desk to the Playseat Challenge. And obviously, you're also gonna need to buy a dedicated seat if you get an aluminum rig, and I would say that here there's many other benefits for which I would highly recommend an aluminum profile rig, which in short are more rigidity, which allows you to have heavier pedals, and also more powerful direct drive wheelbases, more customization, better future proofing, and just more versatility. And now, finally, the last upgrade that we're gonna discuss, and as you might not be surprised, the one that I will place in S tier, are load cell brakes. If you wanna gain more time on track, load cell brakes are the main thing you should be getting. And the reason for that is because you can trail brake a lot more easily using this type of brake. A lot of time is found in braking, and if you can get a tool that will allow you to brake better, such as load cell pedal brakes, then you definitely should. I run the Heusinkveld sprints, which are just wonderful, but they're also very pricey. You can spend a lot less going with the Thrustmaster, I don't remember the exact model, I'll put it in the description, guys. And those are already wonderful. You'll be able to brake into corners and apply pressure using your weight and not using pedal travel. And as such, you can build much more consistent muscle memory using this type of brake, and that just allows you to trail brake a lot better. Chances are you will find more time once you switch to load cell pedal brakes. And that's it, guys. This is my personal take on how these common sim racing upgrades compare to each other in terms of their potential to improve your performance. There's two types of upgrades that I would have loved to test, but that unfortunately I still have not had the chance to. One of them is a triple screen setup. I do not have the space here for a triple screen setup, so it's not gonna happen anytime soon. If you run one, please let me know and let us know in the comments where would you fit a triple screen setup in this tier list. And by the way, the same goes for VR. I am going to be trying VR soon, but I haven't yet, so I'm not sure where that would fit. So please, once again, let us know in the comments. I'm extremely curious where you would place that. And otherwise, please let me know if you agree with my ratings or if you disagree. Please guys, let's make the comments a good little knowledge base for people that might be doing research into what upgrades to do next and how they can improve their performance. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something, and even if you were just entertained, please consider leaving a like, consider subscribing, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Have a great week guys, and see you in the next one. Take care.